All right, great to have you. Welcome. It is the Joe Pag Show. Great radio stations across the land. Newsmax TV nationally as well. JoePags.com, iHeartRadio. Glad to have you along for the ride. So why did Hillary Clinton have to avoid the question about pay-to-play so much last night? Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, it really happened. And number two, if she denied it happened, the emails prove that she's lying her face off. So just avoid it. Just don't say it. Much like what Donna Brazile did last night after the debate as well. I'll get into that later on. But there's yet another dump of WikiLeaks emails today. Again, emails that we now can take as authentic because Hillary Clinton has not at all tried to deny what she said in these speeches and what's in there about the Clinton Foundation. Kara, if you can, what is the latest story? This is big bucks we're talking about here.
It is. According to the Daily Caller, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton arranged a $12 million donation from Moroccan King Mohammed VI at her family's charity in 2014 in return for the Clinton Global Initiative hosting its international meeting in the North African Muslim nation, according to an email made public Thursday by WikiLeaks.
$12 million.
Yes.
And again, last night she had to, they keep using the word pivot, she had to divert, avoid. Get away from, block and tackle. Hey, look at my right hand. Forget what my left hand's doing. I mean, she did all this stuff, jumping through all these hoops to avoid answering it because she knows it not only happened, it happened on, as Trump would say, big league. And if I hear one more person get a hold of me that he's saying big league, stop it. He's not saying big league. He's saying big league. You know, I talked about this with the candidate just 2 days ago. This is the biggest political scandal we've had in modern times. This is so much bigger than Watergate. It's not even funny. Watergate was bad. I mean, somebody broke into the Democratic headquarters or something and stole some paperwork to find out what their strategy was to win the election. Bad. Shouldn't do that. Okay? I'm with you. But, hello? 35,000 missing emails. Some say 55,000 missing emails. Lying about whether they were confidential or classified. Not acting like you don't know whether they're classified or not. No, there was no pay-to-play. When there's nothing but evidence mounting up that's really what happened. And it happened over and over and over again to the tune of not even millions. Or I mean, we're talking about potentially billions of dollars. So when you've got another piece of information from now a validated, authenticated source from Hillary Clinton herself and the Clinton campaign. They have validated this as a source, that these are real emails. Now you've got some real trouble here. And it's no wonder people want to, or the media, the Hillary Clinton machine, which is the left-wing progressive media. And by progressive media, I mean turn on CBS, ABC, and NBC any night of the week, MSNBC, CNBC, CNN. I mean, turn them on any night of the week, and you will see what I'm talking about. They are not in cahoots with Hillary Clinton. They're not in conjunction with Hillary Clinton. They're not in collusion with Hillary Clinton. They are Hillary Clinton, okay? So get that through your head. The reason why they're focusing on this very dumb question. What a dumb question. Again, I think Chris Wallace did better than any other moderator, but I don't understand the question. Will you, sir, accept the results of the election? What? Why is that a question? And by the way, did you notice he didn't ask Hillary Clinton that?
Right, he did not.
Hillary Clinton, who just as recently as a couple of years ago said Bush was selected, not elected. In the year 2000. In the year 2000. No?
No.
That used to be a thing, didn't it?
No.
Yeah, I think it was. But on Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
No.
Who's, by the way, a left-wing liberal lefty. In the year 2000, Al Gore won the popular vote nationally. He did not win the popular vote in enough states to win the Electoral College. In fact, on election night in 2000, the election was called for George W. Bush. Dan Rather of CBS News, I believe, was one of the first ones to call it. And then came back and said, we're not so sure. Al Gore that night conceded to George W. Bush. This is fact. And by the way, no information in front of me, although I've got these four beautiful monitors here, no information in front of me to pull from. I'm going by memory here. I remember being in Lansing, Michigan. I remember being at some big convention hall where I was interviewing people who were running for state and local offices, interviewing them and watching the big screen and Dan Rather and all this other coverage talking about how George W. Bush won Florida. Florida was the state that was going to be the decider. So he wins Florida, he wins. Dan Rather calls it for George W. Bush. Then they said, wow, there might be some irregularities. And they're not really sure. They're not ready. The whole thing lasted for, like, I believe, and again, off the top of my head, 36 days. That's what I think it was. And Al Gore conceded the night of the election. He was pushed by then President Bill Clinton to rescind the concession, and he did. And Al Gore fought for more than a month as our election results were in limbo to win that election instead of giving up and giving in and saying George W. Bush won. To this day, Al Gore thinks that he should have been the president in 2000. Now, the media won't tell you that, not the progressive, not the Hillary Clinton media. The HCM, we'll just call it the HCM from now on. The Hillary Clinton media, which is the big media that indoctrinates our viewers every day, they won't talk about that. They won't talk about how John Kerry in 2004 did not want to accept the election results there. He thought he beat George W. Bush. Zogby thought John Kerry beat George W. Bush, which didn't happen. George W. Bush won. By the way, back to 2000, George W. Bush won by like 18,000 votes in Florida. He won. They were right initially that he won. Al Gore was suing and suing and suing and suing, and people say the Supreme Court of Florida handed that election to Bush. Bacon sandwich. The Miami Herald even ran the story on about page 18. It was front page story for 36 days. Once they did the recount after the recount after the recount and found out that George W. Bush did in fact win by a number of votes, thousands of votes. They buried the story. And then we have this big lie that the Supreme Court of Florida selected George W. Bush. Not true. But having said that, the idea that somehow Donald Trump said something so far off the reservation last night, so far off the beaten path, is nuts. That isn't what happened. He reacted the way that he wants to react when hearing the question for the first time and shooting it out there. I'll keep you in suspense, he said. I'll let you know on November 8th. I think a better answer would have been, I will fully accept when I win. I think that would have been fine. But the idea that he's toying with American politics and American tradition, American history. Well, what happened when Al Gore did it? What happened when Bill Clinton suggested he do it? What happened when Hillary Clinton still says that George W. Bush wasn't the guy elected president? What happens when John Kerry complains about it? No big deal? It's nothing to see here. Not only did they do it, not only did they say it, and Trump didn't even say he wasn't going to accept it. The media is reporting that he said that. He didn't say that. He said, wait, I'll keep you in suspense. Wait till November 8th. He didn't say I won't accept it. He said I'm worried about voter fraud, and he's right to worry about that. But these people didn't just say it. They did it. They did it. And have you heard from NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, CNBC, or CNN? Have you heard anything from them today reminding us about Al Gore? Have they been shamed into doing that yet? Because they weren't doing it initially. Are they doing it now?
I haven't heard any of that today.
But it's all true. And it's happened many, many more times than that where people challenge the results of elections. But what they needed was an answer. See, in the debate with Martha Raddatz, is it Martha? Yeah, Martha Raddatz, and Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper asks the question about have you ever done that? I believe as a setup to having 9 women come out and say, of course he's done it. I can't believe he lied about that. I did nothing about this for 30 years, but that one sentence made me come out and talk about it. Not buying it. This, I believe, was a setup last night. And I don't know why Chris Wallace would want to do this, and maybe, just maybe, it wasn't purposely set up, but as soon as the Hillary Clinton media, the HCM, heard it, they did everything they could to pounce on it. There was nothing else they could pounce on other than the fact that he said these are some bad hombres. I mean, did you laugh when you heard that? I kind of laughed when he said that.
I did. I got a little.
Oh, that's racist, xenophobic, and anti-Mexican or something. So I think they were looking for an opportunity, and maybe that's the only opportunity they found, was to complain about this. But this, let me say it again, this is not a thing. This is not unprecedented, and this is no big deal. You know what's a big deal? When you fight as hard as you can to somehow support partial birth abortion, that's a big deal. You know it's a big deal? When you're so stupid as to tell the world how long it takes to launch some nukes. That's really stupid. Carrie, do you believe that she actually told people how long it takes?
No.
I mean,
no.
That's stupid. Now, if you're a true journalist and you're being objective and you're observing then reporting, you would have reported what a horrible night it was for Clinton, who gave away something classified, something secretive about our nuclear program. She proudly talked about how she's for partial birth abortion. What's the big deal? She lied about Heller in Washington. The Heller case was about toddlers? What? The Heller case was because in Washington, D.C., if you dared want to own a gun in accordance with your Second Amendment rights, you had to dismantle the gun. The gun could not be put together. It couldn't be assembled to carry it from one room of your house to another room of your house. So the lie about Heller, the lie about PaytoPlay, the lie about the Clinton Foundation, the lie about open borders, but the media thinks it found, the HCM thinks it found. It's one thing to pounce on, and Donald Trump doesn't believe in the electoral process. Oh, shut up. I got to tell you something, man. If you're in the HCM, and a lot of HCM listen and watch me now because they don't know what to make of the show. If you're in the HCM, you should be embarrassed. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And you should do something and be better than that. You could win every journalism award and get worldwide fame if you just did your frickin' job. 1-800-383-9624, joepags.com. When we come back, we will absolutely talk to some of the phone callers. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about what happened last night, what didn't happen last night, and what they took away from debate number 3, the final debate before the election that happens in less than 3 weeks now. We'll do that when we come back on the Joe Pags Show.